What's up, you guys, and welcome to another episode of the Dark Sages Interlude. I'm your host, Chase the Dark Sage, and this show is brought to you by Beyond Beats and Culture, the best hip-hop platform on YouTube itself. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button. That way you can be in tune with everything we do on hip-hop. And basically, this part of the show right here is basically me giving you, some of my personal thoughts, some of the stuff that I really love in hip-hop, and the niche that I really love in hip-hop. And as usual, we're going to be talking about something about the blog era today. But in today's video, this has been something that I've been wanting to do on the channel, but I just didn't know how to. And so last year for maybe our 50th episode, I think. No, not our 50th episode. I'm really wrong on that one, but it was an episode where I believe I was actually moving into this apartment right here. We had to film an episode where basically we didn't have any news, we didn't really have any new albums to talk about because we had to double up on one week. And so we did an actual tier listing of some of the mixtapes from the blog era itself. We actually ranked them in a full video right there. I think we did like 40 or 50 mixtapes itself, so make sure y'all go check that out. But that is the reason why we did that, and it got inspired from this right here. And so today we're going to go on Complex's website because they do have a little brackets thing, a little Saturday March Madness brackets thing. I don't know what they call it actually, but we're going to be doing some brackets. We're going to be doing some knockout rounds and stuff like that about what is the best mixtape from the blog era itself. So without further ado, let's go ahead and actually get into it. And as you can see on the left side, we have Kendrick Lamar's Overly Dedicated, Meek Mill's Dream Chasers 2, Wiz Khalifa Cushion Orange Juice, Currency and Wiz Khalifa How Fly, Mac Miller's Kids, Big Sean Detroit, Nipsey Hussle Bullets Ain't Got No Name Volume 2, Big Crit Was Here. And then on the right side, we got Tyler the Creator Bastard, Nicki Minaj Beat Me Up Scotty, Chance the Rapper, Acid Rap, ASAP Rocky, Live Love ASAP, J. Cole, Friday Night Lights, Wale, More About Nothing, Kid Cudi, A Kid Named Cudi, and Drake, So Far Gone. And basically what you do is you do the elimination until you get to the actual winner itself. So yes, there will be a winner in this whole thing, which this tier list might piss some people off. And for me, I don't really know how I'm going to go about this. I'm really probably going to go by how good was the music, plus what was my enjoyment factor when it actually comes to these mixtapes right here, and the replayability of actually going through these mixtapes itself. So that's my, criteria for ranking these mixtapes right here. Obviously, I'm going to make some people mad with some of the choices I make here, but hey, we're here to have fun. And so I'm actually ready to get into it. As you guys know, the blog era is my favorite era of hip hop, and all these mixtapes right here, some of these mixtapes I love, and some of these mixtapes I really don't love. So let's actually go ahead and get into it. First off, we have Kendrick Lamar's Overly Dedicated versus Dream Chasers 2. Now, this is gonna be a tough one because this is the part of the video probably where it's okay, do I really want to watch the rest of the video, or do I just want to click off? Overly Dedicated, great mixtape. But Dream Chasers 2, I got a lot more fond memories with that than I do Overly Dedicated. Now, I bumped both of these mixtapes heavily back then. I bumped them both heavily, and I even re-listened to Dream Chasers 2 recently and Overly Dedicated last year, and I talked about it. Y'all gonna hate me for this. I'm gonna have to go Dream Chasers 2. Now, Overly Dedicated is the better rapping performance overall. It's the better lyricism, yada woo. But Dream Chasers 2 was a moment. This is the project that I bumped the most. In terms of replayability, Meek was that guy. He was up next with this one. So I gotta go Dream Chasers 2. I'm sorry, Dream Chasers 2 gotta win that one, baby. Yes, sir. And now we got the second bracket right here. We got Wiz Khalifa's Cushion Orange Juice versus Currency and Wiz Khalifa's How High. Again, I'm gonna piss some people off. I re-listened to both of these mixtapes last year. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I think How Fly is kind of overrated. I'm not a big Currency fan like that. And Wiz, I love Wiz, especially during the blog era. So I'm not gonna lie, I think Cushion Orange Juice held up a lot better to me than How Fly, but I also didn't really like How Fly back then. I didn't really like it last year. So I'm gonna have to go Wiz Khalifa's Cushion Orange Juice. Plus, look at what it did for Wiz Khalifa's career also. Now, let's go to the next one. We got Mac Miller's Kids versus Big Sean Detroit. I'm gonna be real with y'all, this is easy for me. I've said it in our Balloonerism review. I'm not a huge Mac Miller fan. Mac Miller just doesn't do it for me. Now, I love Macadelic, I liked Faces, and I like watching movies with the sound off. But I always say it all the time, I think Detroit is one of Big Sean's best projects. I remember bumping this heavily back then, and I loved this. I thought Sean gave a really good performance on Detroit, and this is that project where I'm just This should have been the album. What are we doing? And obviously later on, he made his sequel to Detroit his album. So let's go ahead and go with Big Sean's Detroit. I'm sorry, like this is such a good mixtape right here. And then we got the last side of the left side right here. Well, the last brackets of the left side itself. We got two of my favorite artists pitted against each other, but I'm not gonna lie, this is so easy for me. Nipsey Hussle's Bullets Ain't Got No Name Volume 2 versus Big Crit Crit Was Here. This one is easy for me. I'm gonna go Big Crit Crit Was Here. I'm not even gonna waste your guys' time. I love both of these artists. Both of them are two of my favorite rappers of all time as well. Big Crit Crit Was Here, to me, Crit had a lot more to prove on Crit Was Here. With him self-producing, him writing the raps, him being from the South, and having such great beat selection, but beat choices, but that's because he actually produced the music himself. And there's so much heart when it comes to Crit Was Here. I cannot wait to do an anniversary review of this year on the channel itself. But I gotta go with Crit Was Here. This is an easy sweep for me. Now, if this was Crenshaw or something, we would have had like a different discussion. We definitely would have had a different discussion. But let's go ahead and start off with the right side. We got Nicki Minaj's Beat Me Up Scotty versus Tyler the Creator Bastard. Ooh, I'm not gonna lie. I bumped Nicki Minaj's Beat Me Up Scotty a bit more than Tyler the Creator's Bastard. Bastard is cool, and Beat Me Up Scotty is cool. And they're not really my particular favorites of that era itself. But if I had to go with the one, I think Nicki Minaj kind of surprised me a bit more with Beat Me Up Scotty. I'm about to choose Beat Me Up Scotty. I'm sorry, Tyler. Like, I'm sorry. But let's go ahead and get into the next bracket itself. Chance the Rapper's Acid Rap versus A$AP Rocky Live Love ASAP. And this one might piss some people off as well. This whole bracket is going to piss people off. But let's go ahead and actually look at this. I actually re-listened to Acid Rap last year, and Live Love ASAP is something that I had in heavy rotation, Jesus, back in high school. And to me, Live Love ASAP, I liked it. I like what it did for Rocky's career, and I like the space that it put Rocky in itself. But Acid Rap, man, when it comes to bodies of work, stuff that I was replaying, I'm gonna have to go with Acid Rap, man. Acid Rap, to me, Chance gave a better rapping performance than A$AP Rocky. I like the atmosphere that A$AP Rocky give, and the first 5 to 6 tracks on Live Love ASAP, phenomenal. Like, that was a generational run right there. But I have to go with Acid Rap because in terms of bodies of work, when I go back and think about Live Love ASAP, I don't really remember many songs after the first 5 to 6 tracks. But Acid Rap, I'm in there, baby. Yes, sir. But let's go ahead and get into the next one. We got Friday Night Lights, J. Cole, against Wale's More About Nothing. And I listened to both of these last year. I re-listened to both of them. Well, I think I don't know if I listened to the Wale one for the first time last year or not. I remember back then during the blog era, I wrote Wale off. Like, I'm sorry, Wale, I wrote him off. And J. Cole during the blog era was one of my favorite artists during the blog era itself. So obviously this is gonna be easy for me. But also I think Friday Night Lights is the better project. But like I said, I re-listened to both of them last year. I'm not gonna lie. Wale, he's not a slouch. I'm gonna let y'all know that right now. Wale is not no slouch. But I gotta go J. Cole Friday Night Lights, especially when it comes to replayability and which one I listen to more during the blog era itself. So Friday Night Lights wins that round right there. And then we got the next one. This is like battle of the century. Kid Cudi, A Kid Named Cudi versus Drake's So Far Gone. Woo. Okay. Now, this one's easy for me. I'm easily gonna go Drake So Far Gone, but Kid Cudi's A Kid Named Cudi. I mean, look at where Kid Cudi went from after this project right here. This is the man that created Man on the Moon, one of the greatest albums of all time in hip hop. I'm gonna say that right now, one of the most influential albums of all time in hip hop. Cudi is one of the most inspirational artists of all time in hip hop. But I can also say about the same thing for the guy to the right of him that he's going against. Drake So Far Gone, man. This literally changed the mixtape space. Everybody had to up their game from the ways that people like have a recollection of like having to actually talk about it and like resurfacing interviews from back then, be like, oh yeah, Drake changed the game with So Far Gone. He was putting all original music, and he was making the mixtape feel like an album. Like, come on. Like, and plus, if I had to go actual music wise, I'm easily gonna go Drake So Far Gone. So gotta go So Far Gone on that. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Drake was one of my favorite rappers. I don't care. But now let's go to the left side of the bracket again. And the first round we have is Meek Mill Dream Chasers 2 versus Wiz Khalifa Cushion Orange Juice. I re-listened to Meek Mill recently, and I re-listened to Cushion Orange Juice last year. This is tough. I think I gotta go cushion orange juice though. I think I gotta go cushion orange juice. As a full body of work, I think that cushion orange juice holds up better. But Dream Chasers 2, it's really top heavy. The first 11 tracks, really solid. But after that, to me, it just kind of like dips down a bit for me. But let's go ahead and go on to the next round right here. Big Sean's Detroit versus Big Crit. Crit was here. This is easy for me. But man, this was definitely a round right here because Detroit, like I said, I bumped that a lot when I was younger back in high school. But Crit was here. It's just way more weight to that one for me. So when it comes to Crit was here, and I bumped that a lot to this day. Like I at least bump a song or two, or this is the album, like this is like my comfort album basically, or my comfort mixtape, or as he calls it, a free album, where if I ain't got nothing to play for the week to talk about what we've been jamming, I usually put this on and just have it on in the background because I just love this project so much. But Big Sean's Detroit, if I want to feel something, especially some nostalgia from back then, if I want to get a little injection of nostalgia, I go for Detroit. But in terms of which one holds up better, I gotta go Crit Was Here. I think Crit Was Here is a better body of work than Detroit itself. But let's go ahead and go on to the right side right here. We got Beat Me Up Scotty versus Chance the Rapper. Obviously this is like no contest right here. Chance the Rapper, Acid Rap easily. I already told you guys my qualms with the Nicki Minaj Beat Me Up Scotty right here. It's nothing against Nicki Minaj, kind of, but Chance the Rapper's Acid Rap is a much better solid body of work itself. So we're gonna have to go with Acid Rap. Now we have a very bad round right here. I don't like this round at all. I do not like this round at all. J. Cole's Friday Night Lights versus Drake's So Far Gone. I'm gonna go Drake So Far Gone, man. Like this is the project that really put me on the Drake. J. Cole's Friday Night Lights, I love it, but I'm not gonna lie though, and bump that more than Drake So Far Gone, and I can still bump Drake So Far Gone. I'm glad that J. Cole put Friday Night Lights on streaming services for us to actually be able to listen to again. And like I said, I had that hit of nostalgia when I listened to it on streaming last year. But Drake So Far Gone, man, this is another one of my comfort albums that I say about Big Crit. Crit Was Here. This is one of those albums that I just throw, well, mixtapes that I just throw on and I just listen to in the background. Like, come on, man, Drake So Far Gone. I gotta put that boy Drizzy up in there. This is when Drizzy was still cool with the people. Well, some people with the newer class. A lot of older heads definitely displayed their complaints about Drake back then. But now we got the next project right here, the next round, in the last round of the left side. Wiz Khalifa's Cushion Orange Juice versus Big Crit. Crit Was Here. I'm easily gonna go with Big Crit. Crit Was Here. Crit is one of my favorite rappers. I think Crit's rapping ability is far superior to Wiz Khalifa's. Wiz Khalifa can make some great songs, but god dang it, on Crit Was Here, Crit was making some great songs as well. So we gotta go with Big Crit. Crit Was Here. I'm sorry, it didn't self-produced by the boy. Come on, let's go. But we got the last round on the right side itself, and who? Acid Rap versus Drake So Far Gone. You guys already know where I'm going at with this. Drake So Far Gone is going to easily win this one for me, but Acid Rap is not a slouch. But against So Far Gone, it is a slouch. So I'm sorry, I gotta go with Drake So Far Gone. Sorry, Chance, I had to get you out there. But now we're at the final round. And this will determine what is the best blogger and mixtape based on this bracket right here. Oh boy. Let's go ahead and get into it. Big Crit's Crit Was Here versus Drake's So Far Gone. I already know which one's the winner for me, especially for back then, which one I jammed more and which one like appealed to me more. I listened to both of them an equal amount, the same amount right now. I love both of these projects. Both of these projects are great for both of these artists right here. Without these projects, where would these artists be? Without Crit Was Here, this was supposed to be Crit's last mixtape, right? This is his last project until people really was like getting onto his music right here because of Crit Was Here. He was like, you know what, let me keep going. And that boy was on a completely generational run during the blog era with all the mixtapes and the albums. But Drake So Far Gone, what he did for his career, the way that Drake showed his versatility and diversity on the actual project itself. And to me, especially when this came out, this really spoke to me back then when I was younger, because Drake was that guy that wasn't trying to be like, I know he's the tough guy now, right? But Drake wasn't trying to be that tough guy back then. He was trying to be the more soft, more emotional guy. He wasn't the guy that was always bragging like, yo, I'm from the roughest parts. Like, yo, I'm from the hood. Like, nah, let's rap about my emotions, dude. Like, I like this girl. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we doing? I just want to be successful. Come on, there's classic tracks on here. We cannot deny the impact of So Far Gone. God dang it. I gotta go with So Far Gone. I'm sorry, Crit. I want to just leave this on the screen for a moment to let y'all really bask like what I'm about to do right now. But Big Crit Was Here is a phenomenal project, and this is easily a top 50 project, shoot, really for me, top 10 project of the blog era when it comes to mixtapes. But I gotta go with Drizzy Drake, Drizzy Rogers, So Far Gone. To me, this is like the best mixtape out of the blog era, just in general. Even if you would have put this on a whole different bracket, you would have put the best mixtapes, literally the best mixtapes on here, which I don't know if that's what Complex was trying to do, because honestly, seeing Nipsey Hussle's Bullets Ain't Got No Name, I'm not gonna lie, Crenshaw was a better project. I know you really can't count Mailbox Money, but Crenshaw was definitely a better project than Bullets Ain't Got No Name Volume 2. And you definitely could have put a different project than Mac Miller's Kids. And Bastard, like you could have put a different project. Then again, that was is that Tyler Creator's only mixtape on here? But yeah, there could have been some definitely better choices to put on this actual bracket itself. But I guess if they're looking at impact, which ones really had a lot of impact and downloads and things like that, I get this list. But overall, I think, and we said this on our tier list video, which you should go check it out. I'll hopefully link it in the description down below. Drake So Far Gone is literally one of the best mixtapes and one of the most innovative mixtapes during that time of the blog era when it comes to actually putting original music, making a full body of work with original music, even though he had like 2 or 3 songs from other people like Kanye West's 808s and Heartbreaks, Jay-Z's American Gangsta. Even though he had other people's songs on there, it was only like 1 or 2 songs. After that, all of this was like a complete like original music, like body of work. And because most of this stuff, I think all this stuff really is on streaming itself, it really holds up even now. Like, yes, it sounds dated for back then, especially for what Drake was doing back then, but it still to me is a really solid body of work itself. But yeah, that's about it for like who has the best mixtape in the blog era, based off the brackets, even though I'm still gonna go Drake So Far Gone, and especially with the crap that Drake's beginning all of 2025, he definitely needs this win. But overall, man, very solid list, very solid bracket. Like I said, there are a few changes I would have made in terms of like what I would have put on here, because I get it, you want to include Tyler the Creator because he was part of the blog era, but having Bastard on there, having Mac Miller's Kids on there, to me, Mac Miller has other projects that I like. You could have put like a Juicy J, Blue Dream, and Lean on there. I'm just saying there's a whole bunch of other mixtapes you could have put on here that could have been swapped out, and this would have made it a bit more difficult and challenging for me to actually choose between some of them. But I think these two, Crit Was Here and Drake So Far Gone, really would have been the ones that actually make it to the end of this bracket either way by the end of this whole thing. So let me know what you guys thought. Let me know what you guys, like I said, thought about my selections down in the comment section down below. I had myself a little tongue twister right there. Let me know which one you would do, like who would win for you in your brackets if you were to do this. In fact, do the brackets and let me know down in the comment section down below who won for you and why they won for you. Let me know in the comment section down below, because this should be fun. This should be entertaining. This should be intriguing. I know I'm gonna get called a Drake Glazer. I usually do on this channel. I can't say I don't know why I love Drake, but I love also other artists as well. So yeah, but I love Big Crit, so you can call me a Crit Glazer as well. No one ever calls me that though. But yeah, let me know what you think about this tier list. Well, not tier list, but brackets down in the comment section down below. And I wonder if Complex has any more for us to really do, to actually go into, that I really could enjoy something like this, kind of like blog era. I wonder if they got like a blog era like albums. Yo, who would win that? Who would be on there? But yeah, let me know what you think about my choices down in the comment section down below. Let me know if I'm tripping. Let me know if I'm bugging, or let me know if I'm actually right. This has been another episode of the Dark Sages Interlude. Like I said, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But that's about it. I'm out. Peace.